out of 10 rating on IMDb, which is the lowest ever for a Disney princess movie.
You are being led like sheep by this flock mentality of attacking the remake. But have you watched the movie? Weird. Because
Press reviews that are rolling in are just brutal. And people are going as far as thinking that the movie is going to get pulled early from theaters because they're not selling any tickets. And the world is really pointing fingers at Rachel Zegler for all of this.
Rachel Zegler didn't post. She didn't unfollow. She didn't say a word. She simply disappeared.
Not to add fuel to the Rachel Zegler Oscar fiasco, but why did they have these women, all Disney princesses, all stated as Disney princesses, come out to present, but like not include Rachel Zegler, who's going to be Snow White? They're clearly acknowledging Disney princesses for movies that have not been released yet. Someone must have had this conversation and then they purposely left her out, even though she was the only one with a hit movie this year of the four. Did anyone else notice this, or am I overthinking?
Rachel Zegler hasn't vanished from social media entirely, but where it truly mattered, she's gone. Disney Plus, the very platform that was meant to cement her legacy as Disney's newest princess, has seemingly erased her presence without explanation. It began subtly. Fans noticed the Snow White title had disappeared. No trailer, no coming soon, no banner, not even a cast listing. Then things escalated. Zegler's entire Disney Plus actor profile vanished. No bio, no credits, nothing. As if she was never part of the Disney machine at all. What began as a few curious Reddit posts quickly exploded into a full-scale online investigation. People checked their own accounts, compared regions, searched across the app, and all reached the same eerie conclusion. Snow White wasn't just missing, it was being buried. And it makes no sense. The film had already premiered in theaters. Regardless of controversy, Disney had every reason to upload it. Streaming is where films find a second life after box office runs. It was a guaranteed digital release, until suddenly it wasn't. The silence from Disney only deepened the mystery, and as users revisited a now viral clip of Rachel watching herself alone in a theater, the symbolism hit hard. Snow White had bitten the apple and vanished.
It sounds like you're one of the only ones there, just like Rachel Zegler, as it turns out, and we part with this video of Rachel Zegler alone in a theater watching herself. One of the most unlikable humans.
That
ever.
is sadder than when the original Snow White eats the apple.
Out of nowhere, Disney slammed the brakes. No announcement, no press release, just silence. Titles vanished, profiles disappeared, and confusion spread like wildfire. Now fans are left asking the unthinkable. Did Disney just cancel their own princess?
This is just pathetic. Look at this right here. Snow White scraps up a measly $12 million in opening day box office. Could have a worse weekend than The Marvels and Dumbo. Now, if you guys didn't know, The Marvels and Dumbo is the bottom of the pile when it comes to box office for Disney. Those movies lost Disney hundreds of millions of dollars, and it looks like Rachel Zegler's Snow White movie is headed in that direction. And look at this right here. Even mainstream media is calling out this movie for being garbage. Look at this right here. Woke flop Snow White could see one of Disney's sleepiest opening weekends. Listen, this movie made like $2 million on Thursday, right? Which is the previews day. Usually this is where when people come out and they go see your movie, you're supposed to have a higher number than 2 million. But bro, this movie is not going to make more than $46 million opening weekend, which is a disaster for Disney.
Let's be honest. When the very studio that created your career starts quietly wiping you from its platform, it's not just a red flag. It's a digital execution. But the real question is, what triggered this silent takedown? What happened behind the scenes to make Disney hit delete? Not just on the movie, but potentially on Rachel Zegler herself. What comes next might hold the answers, and it could change everything.
Zegler effect has begun. According to scooper Daniel RPK, Rachel Zegler has been recast in Paddington 3 due to strikes, but I have a sneaking suspicion the strikes are only a cop-out for the fact that she has had so much negative press. She is certainly one of the key reasons why the Snow White movie is absolutely doomed. She's probably one of the key reasons why the next Hunger Games movie is gonna totally flop. And now the folks that are making the third Paddington movie are probably just using the strikes as an excuse to make sure that she's recast. Because I think if they outwardly said, well, we recast her because she just ruins everything she touches, that might not be a good look from the studio. But my speculation is that is actually what's going on here.
This was never how the story was supposed to go. Snow White was meant to be Rachel Zegler's crowning achievement. Her breakout role, a billion-dollar legacy reboot, a reimagined Disney princess for a new generation. But from the moment the first trailer dropped, the project felt cursed. The backlash wasn't just about the visuals or creative direction. It was Zegler herself. Her press interviews went viral for all the wrong reasons. She admitted she had no idea what she was even auditioning for, and laughed off the original film, calling it weird. She mocked the prince. The internet turned. Woke Snow White started trending. Boycotts were launched. Disney loyalists, many of whom had once celebrated Zegler's Cinderella-style rise, abandoned her overnight. TikTok exploded with edits mocking her, while Twitter lit up with side-by-side comparisons to the original 1937 voice actress, highlighting just how far the character had fallen. By the time the film finally hit theaters, the damage was done. It flopped hard.
This thing has to be really, really bad. I mean, the critics were looking for any excuse to give it a high score. They know that conservatives don't like Rachel Zegler. Like, even they couldn't find a way to pretend that this piece of trash is anything but a piece of trash. And just to show you how trashy this is, here's a clip of Rachel Zegler performing a song from the film, apparently.
They say all you have to do true is let it echo. Your voice will carry.
Most generic, reheated pop music slop imaginable. Never mind that the lyrics make no sense at all. So a truly bad song with some bad life advice on top of it.
What was supposed to be Rachel Zegler's fairy tale rise as Disney's next iconic princess has unraveled into one of the most chilling downfalls Hollywood has seen in years. Snow White, once billed as a billion-dollar reboot, flopped hard, and critics slammed it as lifeless, smug, and painfully preachy. But the fallout didn't stop at the box office. Zegler, once seen as the face of Disney's future, quickly became its scapegoat. Her past interviews mocking the original film and Prince storyline sparked mass backlash, turning fans and media against her. Then came the silence. No Disney Plus release, no promo tiles, no actor profile. Zegler was quietly vanishing from the platform altogether. Screenshots surfaced showing her name scrubbed, cast listings altered, and her presence erased across regions. It wasn't just the movie being buried, it was her. Speculation exploded. Was this Disney's way of cutting ties without headlines? Meanwhile, Zegler's Broadway return in Evita crumbled amid backstage chaos and leaked reports calling her uncoachable. She fired her entire team, agent, publicist, manager, without a word. No apology, no explanation, nothing. The silence from Disney, her co-stars, and even Zegler herself grew deafening. And in Hollywood, silence isn't just absence, it's strategy. Industry whispers suggest Disney may be retooling Snow White, possibly even reshooting or shelving it indefinitely. Others believe this is corporate quiet dissociation, a digital erasure where no one admits what happened, but the evidence is everywhere. From Gina Carano to Johnny Depp, Disney has a history of deleting controversy without saying a word. Now, Zegler is following that same quiet path out. No headlines, no goodbye, just vanishing tiles, blank pages, and a name Disney no longer utters. The question isn't whether Rachel Zegler was canceled. The question is whether we just witnessed the most silent cancellation in Disney history. And if she doesn't reclaim her narrative soon, she might not get a second act. Because in the world of Disney, when a fairy tale cracks, they don't mend it. They replace it.
Covered woke Snow White, no longer white, snow taupe, snow beige, snow swarthy, snow's not swarthy. Some kind of sediment or sand that is no longer blanc. This young woman just explained the far more egregious changes to the story than the casting of this out-of-place actress.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
This is the central feature of the movie, is that it's a movie about love, and that she is reawoken by love. They're taking the love out of it. No, it's not about Prince Charming and love anymore. It's about what a girl boss she is. Because that's what little girls dream of. They dream of being